Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for loving us. Of course, it's your man Angel, who is my colleague.
Yeah, Ignatius Tuyamureba, business coach.
Of course, your man Angel is a life coach, a business coach, a sales coach, and etc. So today we're going to go through, of course, the most aspect of life, which is sales. Unless you sell, then you're out of life. So today we are looking at a very big aspect, which we feel like is going to be at the fulcrum of your development. And we are saying today, Mr. Ignatius, that you need to first get sold to your idea, to your product or service, before you sell it to others. And today we are going to look at why should you get sold to your idea, why should you get sold to your product before you sell it to us. And if you master this concept, sales is going to be the most easiest thing ever.
Well, and you know, we in business, we are looking at sales as the heart of every business. You know, in business, if you don't make sales, then you are kicked out of business. This is why we are always trying to give you all the information and real concepts about sales, how to boost sales, how to make sales, and how to grow sales. Well, Angel is heading this topic, and today I will also leave. I will get somewhere and also learn from him.
Yes.
Angel, you've been in sales.
Yes.
And quite often we've had people who do not buy their own products.
Yes.
Who don't buy their own services.
Yes.
Even they don't even understand the whole concept about their vision. So, is this what you are trying to raise here?
Yeah, of course, what we are trying to say here is one, like, most people consider sales to be the hardest thing. And to me, it's not as hard as it should have been considered. Sales is as long as you first sold your idea. For example, if you have a school, you're a director, you have a school, do your children study from the same school? I've seen several directors here now for Porto City, in Kampala and in Mbarara, where people operate schools, and they don't allow their children to study in the same school.
Not only their children, but even their relatives.
Their relatives. Even we have seen head teachers whose children don't study in the same schools. That is for the sake of schools.
But they are saying it's a good school. It's a good.
So now, how are you going to convince
university.
people that this university is good, this secondary school is good, this college is good, when your children are not studying there? How are you going to convince us? Because people don't buy product. People buy the conviction you are having in selling the product.
Don't you think, when we look at this, don't you think these people, maybe all these proprietors of such businesses, also have fear of the quality that is in their business?
So that's why they will tell you that sales is hard. Sales is hard because you're not sold to your idea. If you were sold to your idea, you would have your children or relatives start consuming your idea or your services. And then from that conviction, you would transfer that conviction to other people.
Locally, I've had some people tell me, when I'm moving around, some other people tell you that if you have a bar and you drink from within your own bar, the drink doesn't become sweet.
Yes.
Is it?
And then
is this related to all this?
That is madness and stupidity. Now, if you are buying a Tusker, for example, the Tusker people should give us some money to promote them. But for this case, if you are drinking Tusker, the Tusker you drink from, let's say, Nyeka, and the Tusker you drink from Kariakot, it's the same. Only the vape, the vibration that you are operating when you are drinking. So if you cannot create the same vape or vibrations in your own bar, then you expect me to get the same vibe, then you have a problem in your head. So we are trying to say, if you have if you say you own a bank, you have a financial institution like this, are you the number one fat person who takes a loan from your own loan?
You mean, are you saying that, for
example, you own a financial service?
I need also to borrow from the same institution.
The same institution. Now, how would you convince us? For example, me, the whole concept here, when I choose to work with IG, let's say on handling loans, I'll have to make sure that I'm the first person to consume the loans. So when I'm trying to persuade you to take loans, I'm talking from experience.
I think this is why some people have said, buy Uganda,
build Uganda.
Build Uganda.
Most people think they are patriotic enough, yet they cannot even buy their own products. So, like, I will give you an example. I'm currently working with Life FM, building their sales and marketing teams. So the first thing I did was to also be a consumer.
Advertise from
Yes,
the same
so
brand.
that when the clients come to complain, I have already complained because I'm also what?
A customer.
So I know how to handle such a complaint. So if you cannot cut your hair from your salon, then you have a problem. Close the salon and go.
So
Because soon enough,
you mean
close.
if someone is looking at the sales, it starts from you buying your own product
Products.
and services.
Yes.
If you don't trust your services, if you can't buy your services,
Yes.
then there is a problem with your services, and probably you are trying to explain why other people should not buy from you.
Sure. Like for example, personally, I'm always the first subscriber to my material. I play my material every day. My inspiration, my trainings. I retrain myself through my past trainings. I'm the first consumer. So when I'm going to sell you my services or my products, I know the advantages and disadvantages. Before you raise the disadvantages, I already know them and I'll show you that I'm handling them. So the challenge what is making, why is sales is becoming hard? You find people are not consuming their products. People are not sold to their products. Being sold is more than consuming. Being sold means you actually, without doubt, you believe your service or your product is the best ever. You get? You have that internal jealousy. You want to feel like everyone should buy from you. Everyone should accept the ingredients you have in your products or services. So that conviction is the one you transmute to the client, and the client instantly get bought to your idea. So the reason why it is very hard for you to come and convince me or persuade me to buy into your services is because you're not personally persuaded to the product.
Now there is also a problem and a challenge where people, when they start, they intend to buy from their products and services, they don't pay. I don't know how this can also be managed, because someone comes and he has 5 children in a school.
Yes.
He doesn't pay because he's the owner of the school, and eventually he has many people he has given opportunities to study from there, and he's not paying, and at the end of the day the business gets issues with cash inflow.
So the challenge is there then if a person cannot do that, then he should come at Bar Enterprises. We help him to see the advantage of paying, because it helps him as a director. Let's say if you're in a bar and you buy a bottle for yourself, you go ahead and pay your cashier. It's just same money, only it's changing pockets. You go in the bar, you buy and pay.
Because I think when you buy and pay, it also limits you on how much you can consume.
Sure. But when we are talking about being sold to your ideas, it is more than now actually buying the physical goods or buying the real services. It means, what I'm trying to communicate to the listener now and the viewer, is that being sold to the idea, it means you have you are fully convicted or convinced that your service is the best. And how do you get fully convinced? By first buying it. I'll give you an example of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is trying to actually go to Mars, to make colonies in Mars. So what he did recently was to sell out his mansion, to start living in a small house of around, I think, which can accommodate 5 people. It was around $50,000, these movable houses. You see? Because he's trying to take people to Mars. Now, in taking people to Mars, he doesn't want to build there. He wants to take houses there. So, before he takes houses there, you have to first live in the same houses. So that he gets the experience of how people will be there. So, if you are going to make a mandazi, can you first make those mandazi your breakfast?
I love this point.
Yes.
You must and you need to buy your own services.
So that when you are convincing him, you are speaking from an informed point of view. How would you feel if you found Bill Gates working on operating system of iOS?
Okay,
for example, if you found Bill Gates having a MacBook, would you feel happy? Other than Windows?
I believe it. If from that point he also doubts,
it's like finding Musk driving a limousine, yet he does cars.
Let's look at on the perspective of our local communities setting small businesses,
Yes.
they never buy from there. Do you think this has an effect on the...
Of course. Now, why should
On
you
the
take?
sales.
Why should you take? In the first instance, common sense. Why should you take money away? Money should keep in the family.
So you need to be
It's
jealous
like-
when
yeah.
your money is going away.
Of course, that is one. Why should it go away? You are selling this and you're buying it elsewhere. You would buy it from your house. You just pick the money from your pocket and put it in your drawer, take a kilo of sugar. Because that is one. But before we go that, what I wanted to tell my viewers, our viewers today, is that getting sold, does not stop on consuming your own services. It goes further to the point of internally, intrinsically, believing that your product or service or idea is the best of all. That is being sold. So when you're waking up, it's like Museveni when he's talking about NRM. He tells you as if NRM is the only thing Uganda has ever gotten. He's sold to his NRM ideology.
He believes in his...
He thinks NRM, his Quran,
There
and
is
his
no-
virtuous thing is the best thing God has ever created. And he's sold that. And his job has always been promoting the same. 60 years ago, from 60, he has never changed.
So you need to sell the vision
Which you are sold to.
which you are trying to sell outside there.
So when
you
you-
be the first person to buy it
And let
from
me use
yourself.
an analogy of Museveni. He says when he came, in fact recently he said he never came to save anyone. He came to save,
Himself.
and to those who believe that he can save him. So the issue is first save yourself. There is an old man who told his son that my son, look into my eyes. Now I'm telling the one who is looking at me. Look into my eyes. The old man told the son that right after me there is you. He
Maybe you can repeat it for
He
someone.
said, right after me, there is you. Me first, you come second. So that's what the old man was telling the son, that I cannot save you unless I'm alive. I have to first make sure that I'm safe. Then I make you safe. So you have to make sure that you are sold to your idea in order to sell it to us. If you are a manager of Airtel and you are still having a reign of MTN, then I will fire you. And you can top up on MTN. That is madness.
I think...
You say I have people who use MTN. No. If they
Why are
want
they
you,
not using...
if they want you, let them use your line. If I hired you for my company, and let's say it's a telecommunication company, and you're working using the computer's lens, then I fire you. Because you are not convinced of the services you are selling. How are you going to sell them? If people complain, you say go. Because to you, even you don't believe in your services. So it's very key. You get?
There must be some... Because, you know, when you talk of why someone needs to buy from... to buy his own product.
Yes.
And so that he gets people who can buy from him. I know at some point, this was one of the things that forced me to say, why do people go to banks, spend days chasing a loan?
Now, yes.
Why is it taking them too long? You go to a bank, take days and days processing a loan. Now I was like, what if there is someone who can bring 30 minutes?
Alone.
Alone.
So you are solving the problem. But probably,
Why would you delay them?
Probably you went to the bank and it delayed. And
Personally,
you're like,
I was
okay,
trying-
let me do this.
Yeah.
So you already sold that idea. So when you're saying you can get a 30 minutes loan, and you're convinced because you once upon a time challenged, then we accept. Now look at the person who sells loans, who has never taken up a loan. Will you think he will persuade enough?
He doesn't know why someone goes and steps to the
Um,
bank and process money.
I've
and
met
needs-
people who give loans, and when you meet him out of office, it's like, man, these loans are not easy. They are not good. And he's the one who was selling them. And if I was your boss, I would fire you. Because we buy conviction. I don't know if you understand.
A doctor who cannot be treated in his own in his own hospital.
And you still believe in him. Then that is madness. And he still complains when he doesn't get clients.
A manager who cannot advertise on a TV on the same...
The same TV is leading. you find he's working with competitors, fired. That is very key. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it must be a bit crazy.
yes, first get convinced. First be sold to your ideas before you sell them to us. If you truly believe that loans can help people in development, then you go and sell them because you're already convinced. It's like a pastor who still believes that Jesus is not going to come again.
Do we have some?
There are so many. When they are even speaking, even when they are speaking, you see they are not.
Businesses and sales are down for reasons that we don't buy from our own services and we are not convinced of what we are selling. For now, we'll be coming in to extend this topic if we find it is inevitable. If you have a comment, if you've liked this conversation and this discussion, just click down there on the word subscribe. You'll have more content coming from us. We are there.